Alright, so we got the higher 43UF2500. Couldn't find any YouTube videos about this, so figured I'd write a little review. I'm going to be using this as a computer monitor. It was right around 250 bucks at Micro Center. Pretty cheap for a 4K panel. It's supposed to be 60 hertz. We'll see if it really is. It should be pretty decent for a computer monitor if the quality's okay. Couldn't find any reviews for it. It was all for the 1080p model, not the 4K. Looks like we've got on the side panel here, we've got a USB port, we've got an antenna, coax port, we've got MHL HDMI and a regular HDMI port. Then on the bottom here, so we can focus this, we got HDMI 1, 2, there's an audio line out, there's an optical line out, and then looks like standard composites. So should be compatible with pretty much everything. Not bad port selection for a $250 TV. Right back here, we can see that 75 watt panel. It has a USB output of 500 milliamps. So, not a lot. Alright, well, we'll try to plug it in and see what this thing is like. Alright, well I got this all hooked up to my computer and plugged into a GTX 1060, and I am sorry to say I think this TV is going to have to go back. It is just not fit to be a computer monitor, and it's not good for a couple reasons, and I'll show you why. One, I don't know if you can see this, but the glare is horrendous on this thing. Like, when you have glare on a laptop monitor, it's semi-manageable because you can move the laptop around, or you can adjust the screen one way or the other. You know, this thing has set feet. It's not going to tilt one way or the other. It's positioned, and I've got a window directly behind me. This thing it has just about the worst glare that I've ever seen. Next, you know, one of the things that is really not good about this. So I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but no matter what I do to the Windows 10 DPI settings, the scaling here, the text just looks awful. It's got really bad aliasing on it, and it looks like garbage basically. The best that I found is at 200%. Which is kind of too big, kind of defeats the purpose of having a 4K monitor. Now if I put this back to 100%, the aliasing is so bad the text is almost not even legible. I went through and I calibrated the monitor and turned ClearType on. Didn't make any difference at all. It just is, it's garbage. You know, on the upside here, one of the nice things is that it is a 60 hertz model, so the refresh rate was good. You know, out of the box it was only displaying 30 hertz and everything was jumpy, but once I went and changed it in here to 60 hertz, it's not bad. It's not the best. It's pretty fluid, good enough for everyday use. You know, scrolling through a website, here we'll zoom back in here too. Scrolling is fine. You know, it's maybe slightly noticeable if you're really picky, but I think scrolling is probably fine on it, but just this aliasing on the text makes it unreadable. This is what ruined it for me, I guess. I can't imagine using this every day as a computer monitor. Now, one of the things that did look really awesome is 4K content. You know, 4K, there, we'll go back to an actual 4K video here. when you're looking at a 4K like YouTube video or 4K Netflix video, you know, the TV looks awesome. Videos on this thing look sweet. So if you're going to use this as a like just as a video monitor like it's intended to be used, I think that this monitor would be just fine. For $250, it'd be hard to go wrong with that. However, I'm reviewing this as a computer monitor, not as a TV, and I just sadly think that it's not worth it. So I did a little research here on Reddit and found out that this is most likely a fake 4K display, actually not a true 4K, and it also has a 422 chroma display rather than a 444, which is to be expected at this price point. But because of that, you know, the difference is here's a test image here. You're supposed to be able to read this legibly, and it's just not. So on this monitor, you know, the text just looks like garbage. There's no getting around it. So my recommendation is to get a true 444 TV as a monitor if you're going to be using it to read text, or just skip it all together and get an actual computer monitor that's 4K, because this has been a terrible experiment and totally not worth doing.